rocking. I try to let a few doors walk, but if that freezer runs low, I gotta stock it. These scrub bucks got no mask, darn sure no drop times, but this chili has deer burger in it tonight.
Where did this podcast go? Straight to hell. Yeah, speaking of hell, check out East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast.
First of all, I'm addicted to the show.
I like that. That's cool. Okay.
Whole boar hunt, you live it, you breathe it.
Just East Coast has a little bit more of an edge and a grind.
Point where it is now, where it's insane.
Welcome back to yet another episode of the East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast as we bunker down in the mountain laurels of episode 18, Where to Hunt, featuring Eric Clark. I'm your boy D-Rock with my bow hunting squad,
Trev, Ryan,
and we are here in Slade's studio in Coventry, Connecticut, hiding in the mountains of God's heaven. Today's episode is brought to you by Shabim Brewing, CT's finest craft beer, the Hunter's Beer. Shabim. 100 Demons, East Coast hardcore music known worldwide at www.shopshogun.com. Also brought to you by Trev's Euros for all your Euromount needs. And you can find them on Facebook. CT Bow Hunting, CT's #1 source for bow hunters. Download the app. It's free. It's free. Where, Trev?
Yeah, and it's a safe zone.
It's judge-free zone.
Judge-free safe zone.
And we are presented by Nor'easter Game Calls. Get them in close at www.nor'eastergamecalls.com.
Don't forget about the Blood series.
Coming out soon to an internet near you?
To an internet near you.
Internet
podcast near you.
Podcast land's going to explode with that.
Yeah.
The Blood series. And we're here as always for new and old hunters by sharing our experiences in the woods through playing and slaying. What's up?
What's up, D-Rock?
What's up, brother?
What's going on, fellas?
Not much.
We're here on another Monday night. Episode number 18. We're just trucking along. That's crazy.
18.
Word?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's coming along quick and fast and furious.
And don't catch the Mexican on his busa because, I mean, can you catch a Mexican on a busa?
No,
I don't think so. No.
Oh, man. So let's do a quick recap on our past week. I'm kind of excited with this episode, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to have Eric from, Wisconsin to get on the show with us, and he's a wicked cool dude, so I'm really excited to hear about it, about his app and everything like that.
Awesome. And you boys got to jump on his episode too, right?
Yeah,
on one of
did.
his episodes?
Yep. I was on, I believe, last week. Yep. He had his little radio call-in show. It's pretty neat. He does a podcast like we're doing here, but it's a live call-in show. He does Facebook Live. Is it live on iTunes as well? Or no, right afterwards, right?
Yeah, he publishes afterwards onto iTunes.
Yeah, so I called in. He had a guest speaker on. I called in for a little bit, got involved, and I know Trev and D-Rock have done the same.
Yeah. I mean, he's kind of a podcast slut, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty. Yeah, I mean, he's got the,
slut.
It's pretty cool what he does. He's very unique. He's got the live listener caller.
Very cool.
Yeah, he gets a little taste of everything.
Yeah, it's definitely something different. He's definitely, throwing the curve in the podcast world.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. He's got a lot to offer, and that's what we're going to touch on in this podcast coming up. This episode is going to touch on the usual banter that we got for you. You keep you interested, and I don't know why you guys keep on tuning into us, but
thank you.
yeah, it makes it cool. It makes it worthwhile, and then this way it makes us feel like we're contributing back. So yeah, I mean, we got a lot of new things going on. Trev's been slaying
sea ducks.
Ah.
Sea ducks and divers and so on and so forth.
Touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, no, it's just
seems like you're all tuckered out from that.
Oh, yeah, it's just been crazy. It's like an hour ride for me, so I have to get up mad early and go down and all that good stuff to the shoreline. I was able to deer hunt this afternoon. My buddy put me on some private land of his, and it was cool to get back in the deer woods and put some time in there. Not considering we only have so many days left, and
right. Crunch time.
Yeah, during the week I was able to get out like 2 or 3 times. I got out over the weekend and stuff, and was Saturday I hunted my private land, and just tough. I mean, it's just crazy without these acorns and stuff, and really putting in the hard time, and it's just not coming out. And it's like,
you've been hating the acorns this year, man.
Yeah,
dude, it's a big problem. Big problem.
Everybody across the board. I mean, everybody that we talk to is just having the same issue and the same problem. So I was like, I'm just in killing mode, man, and I have to be doing it. And so that's why I've been,
right?
Yeah, and so I gotta be duck hunting or goose hunting. That's what my old thing used to be, was the goose hunting thing, but now it's the duck hunting. You know, because the goose, you can only kill 2, so it's like, whatever. But now this whole sea duck thing,
might as well go kill 6 of them instead of 2,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You guys know about Canadian geese, though.
What
You get
about
like 15 a day with those.
No,
Early season.
Yeah, early season.
Right now, you
But
only
now
get
it's
2.
only 2.
Right,
That's
right.
why I'm not goose hunting, because it doesn't make sense to drag the trailer out and all that.
All that for one flock to come in,
Yeah.
you're done in a minute, you know.
Right.
It's just not worth
Yeah,
it.
I get you.
So
It's pretty
just-
cool.
Whatever. Get in the woods and just hunting, you know. I'm definitely going to try and put down one more, at least a meat doe, before the season's over. Maybe not, you know, that big buck that I've been chasing and stuff like that, and a couple of different bucks. But, whatever. Give it a shot. See what's up.
Well, at this point of the game, I'm actually at the same point. Like anything walking in front of me that's ethical to take, I'm definitely going to jump on it. Get that.
Yeah, you definitely
get that meat.
have to. You have to.
Yeah, just fill up the freezer and keep on. I mean, I'm praying to crash up into Fabio again. I've been seeing him more and more. It's crazy. And you know, our buddy out Midwest, Austin Chandler, congrats to him.
Yeah, that
Dude,
double
put
drop
down-
time.
yeah, put
Huge deer.
Put
That
down
thing is-
a monster.
Yeah.
A monster. That's crazy. And I'm sure that's going to be on soon on our boys' podcast over there, Working Class
Yeah,
Bow
they were
Hunter.
talking about it today.
Yeah.
They were definitely going to get it on there earlier, sooner
Yeah.
than later.
So that'd be cool to listen up and follow up by them, you know?
Yeah, you know something
Check
else
our
that
episode, then follow up with their episode. It's cool. This way, it's like your own personal little library.
East Coast, West
You know,
Coast.
you just flip one chapter, that chapter's done, and then switch books and go to the next chapter. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's pretty cool.
You know, something else I saw on social media today was Garrett Benner. He did a little thing on his Instagram story. He had sent away Max, and then he pans over to Nor'easter scent eliminator, and he goes back and he just hits the scent away, goes flying across the room. He takes it and he puts it in his backpack, closes the door.
The Nor'easter one, right?
Yeah.
That was pretty
I
funny.
was like, that's fucking awesome.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, I've been hitting the timber hard, deer woods all the way. Got lucky last few times getting some birds out of there, but it's nothing like a deer. So we're staying diligent to the end. And that's the way it is. I mean, you got to keep on going at
doing
it.
it, and doing it.
Doing it and doing it.
Doing it well.
Oh, man. What was that?
What a snort wheeze.
That's kind of sounded like it, right?
That's pretty cool.
That's funny.
Oh, man. So, Ryan, you wanted to contribute a little more, and you were talking about certain stuff you wanted to touch on. So I think now would be a better time than ever to start going on what you want to bring to our listeners out there.
All right, guys, this is for our listeners here. Something we're going to start off doing is kind of like a weekly whitetail forecast. I know it's getting towards the end of the season here, and you know we're kind of bringing it to towards the end of the season. In the off season, we're going to do a little something different and bring it back. Next September, maybe even late August. But this is for you folks out here that are in Connecticut listening to us, or even just for you all over the country, all over the world, to kind of keep and feel with what we're dealing with out here for weather, precipitation, the winds. The moon phases, just the temperature, what's happening and what we're forecasting for the week here. So we're going to be bringing that to you every week here, and we're getting down towards the end of the season, and it is crunch time. So we're going to give you that forecast and deer activity and help you prepare and get slaying to put that meat in the freezer. So now, what do you guys feel? It's been cold out there. I know for you guys, you've been out duck hunting in the woods. I was in the woods this morning myself, and it was quite cold out there. We're getting some cold nights, some cold mornings.
I think it was 18 degrees this morning. when I left the house, anyways.
Cool. So what do you got for us, bro?
Well, what we got for you here is, we're looking at we're nice and cold and dry until Friday here. So
Nice.
nice cold in the teens at night, and we're only getting to maybe 30 during the daytime. Come Friday, we got a warm front pushing there with a little bit of rain, so the winds are going to pick up. We're looking about an alternate every day. We're going from north wind today, south wind, north wind, south wind, all the way through the end of the weekend. So, play those cards right on what you're working with here.
And for our listeners out there, this is mainly based out of the New England side of the East Coast.
Absolutely.
So we're talking mainly Connecticut, bits of Massachusetts, Rhode Island, just so you don't get mixed up with what's going on in your area.
Right. We just want to let you guys know what we're working with here. We're getting down to crunch time. This is that time where, maybe you're still after that trophy buck. You're like us, just trying to get a little meat in the freezer. We're just letting you know what's going on out here in our woods.
Cool. What else you got? This is good news, man. I like
I'm liking it. I'm all about it.
Absolutely. Like I said, we're kind of bringing this to you now, but we're looking at now the moon phases here. We're in a waxing crescent for the rest of the week here. We got a full moon coming on the 22nd, so if you want to keep that in mind if you work on the moon phases. But our peak game movements are going to change with the position of the moons. And it's looking like for Tuesday and Wednesday, your afternoon hunts are going to be that peak game activity according to where the moon's going to be. Then Thursday to Sunday, it's looking like the morning hunts. So if you've got that Friday, Saturday, that Sunday maybe off, get in there early in the morning. That's when your peak game's going to be moving around.
Especially with that warm front coming in.
Absolutely. A little
That
rain
makes sense,
pushing.
too. That's
everything.
what I've been seeing in the woods. Well, Trev wouldn't know because he's been on the water, but
That's it.
That's what I've been seeing, though.
I know
That's
the ducks are
correct.
flying.
Well, Trev knows this, of course, being a fisherman. That moon affects your water out there big time.
Affects
so.
the tides and everything
Absolutely.
like that. So, and it affects everything across the board, like you're talking about with the different moons and stuff like that, with movement and same thing for us, same for fishermen, same for duck hunters, same for everything. So,
Cool.
Game,
Squirrels.
fish, everything.
Nah, I'm just joking.
Yeah.
So what else you got,
just,
right?
That's
just
just
a
the
little
Mexican.
tidbit. I want to end this forecast on a little tidbit for you guys. Your best time for peak activity. If you're talking about moons, it's more about the position of the moon in my eyes than more of it what is in the phase. When it's directly overhead, when it's at its peak point in the sky, that's when you're going to have that good activity, and when it's at its lowest point, the underfoot as it's called, that's when you're also going to get that peak activity.
Can you explain and elaborate a little bit on the underfoot, what that means for like a new guy coming into the field? And
So the moon is in its 12-hour phases, as most people know. It's in 12-hour phases. So after it gets in that peak sky, that 6 hours up into the sky, it's at its peak. It's going to come back down when it hits the horizon. That's its next 6 hours. And then when it's actually, you could say, 6 hours below ground level, as you can say, below horizon, that's its peak underfoot. That's also when you're going to get those peak game activity.
nice. So, you did
Yo.
good, man. That was
Thanks, bro.
awesome. I like it. That was
Not
a
too
lot
bad,
of
right?
information,
Yeah,
right?
hey.
It was a little
Nah.
scratchy at first. We'll get it in there.
Yeah. No, that sounded good though. That's all good information that people can use, especially late season.
They can
right
know.
now. I mean,
yeah,
it's
they-
crunch
they-
time
they're gonna-
now.
it is crunch time. So
You got to throw everything out there and just do everything that you possibly can. So knowing that when the best movement and stuff and when to get in the woods and when not to is definitely
straight up fourth quarter.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fourth
it is.
quarter and
That's
like
it.
5 minutes to
And just
play.
pray you're
It's
not
about-
the Patriots like last night.
Just
Oh, I know. Miami took them,
I
right?
can't
That's
believe that,
crazy.
man.
That's crazy. Hey, and I think that screwed up their chances to get in the playoffs too. It might.
You
It might.
the Pats? You think so?
It might play a part.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I don't know. Later in the season now.
It is. You're right, but I couldn't
think
believe
I'm
that.
thinking the Saints and New England still.
Saints they're killer
Yeah.
team
Yeah.
this year. And
Yeah,
we got
they
a
are
little
doing
off
it.
track here, but that's all right. A little football talk.
So we're to the point where everyone's been, all the listeners out there that contributed to the Modern Assassin giveaway.
Yep.
So I know everyone's been wondering, are our messages and PMs and mailboxes full of deer nuts?
Well, they are.
they are.
Deer
Yeah,
nuts.
they're
Okay,
over- they're-
AKA PS, all that. Deer nuts.
Right. Definitely overflowing with deer nuts.
Yep, deer nuts everywhere.
Thanks, Garrett.
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
He's probably laughing his ass off. So the Modern Assassin giveaway, it was a heavy-duty bottle opener with a light on it for deer camp with a Shabine sticker to go with it. And then we had the Modern Assassin hunting mask.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Badass. It's
The bear.
The bear skull.
Wicked badass.
With a Modern Assassin sticker decal.
And then the Modern Assassin knife.
The skinning knife.
We'll just call it the modern assassin knife because
Yeah.
that's a savage modern assassin type knife.
Yeah. So everyone's been waiting for that moment, and it was crazy. A lot of submissions. Unfortunately, mailbox full of deer nuts, and we totally came up with a random winner. And who was it again, Trev? You remember who it was?
No, I don't at all.
What do you got here, Trev? Nothing?
I don't even have my phone. Oh, it's over here.
No, I was just testing you, just fucking with you. So, I mean, a lot of people, a lot of submissions, and we're going to call out homeboy out of Instagram. What is it? LaMonica Hunts?
Yes.
LaMonica Hunts.
That's
You are
right.
the winner.
Yes.
So-
Out of Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Who's actually a working class follower also.
Right.
Awesome.
Yeah.
His profile, he has a working class bow hunter hat on,
East Coast boy.
and he's an East Coast boy.
He is. He's out of Mass.
Yep, out of Mass. And this was totally random. It just coincidental. Massachusetts got it. Congratulations, bud. We'll send a little something out to you, but as a message. But I'm sure you're listening to this, so you have until Saturday to cash in, and we'll get it sent out to you. And if you don't, we're gonna get the next entry,
That's right.
the next one in line. So you better tune in.
Tune in.
So I think this is going to be a good time. Let's hit up Cadillac Cowboy and get him on the phone, so this way we can do the Cadillac Cowboy giveaway. What do you
Sounds
think?
good. Yeah, let's definitely do it. And then
Let's do
we'll
it.
have him read off the winner and shout that person out. And
Yeah, he can read off the winner. I'll read the story.
yeah, we'll let him read the
Yeah,
story.
let him read the story.
Oh,
He
he
picked
has
I
it.
want to hear it in his
He
rasp-
picked it.
in
He
his
has
voice.
it. He does have a nice radio voice,
We'll
doesn't
see.
he?
All right, let's call him.
All right,
Let's
peace.
get him on.
So now we got Cadillac Cowboy on the horn, and what we want to do is get to the Cadillac Cowboy giveaway. What's going on, Caddy Cowboy? How you doing?
I like the intro song. I picked that up.
Nice. Well, we figured it suited you very, very well, actually. And
Lyrical perfection.
cool. I'm glad you like it, man. Hey, again, we just want to thank you for everything you're doing. And we took a couple weeks to got a lot of good, juicy stories. A lot of people really want to win. And Trev and I hit up your house. Ryan was busy working. I think doing another film, right, Ryan?
Yeah.
So he couldn't make it, but we went over who you want to pick. And why don't you tell us your words exactly? What made you want to do this?
Well, first of all, I just want to say it's so cool that there was as many submissions as there were. Like, it just shows what you guys are doing, and people are really getting into it. And I was shocked how far away some of the submissions were from, all over the country. So you guys helped me. We went through some, but there was one that jumped out at me a lot. The reason I wanted to do the contest is I got into hunting later in life. I felt that was a little different than a lot of other people. And we had this one kid who just totally connected with me right away, and his story's awesome. I'd love to share it with you guys.
Cool. So you did a $100 giveaway, Visa card, East Coast Bow Hunting Series giveaway, right? It's got our logo
Yeah.
on the card and everything, right?
And the card came in the mail today. I showed it to my wife. She thought it looked sick. So
Oh,
it's got the
that's cool.
podcast logo on it. It's ready to rock.
Awesome.
So we'll get that sent out tomorrow.
Nice.
So the winner's name is Jason Datillo. Hope I'm saying that right, man. And as soon as you tell me to go, I'll read the story.
Go.
Go.
All right, cool. All right, well, in 2008, when I was 8 years old, I got a Cabela's Big Game Hunter on Nintendo Wii. I got so obsessed with the game and soon began watching hunting shows on the Outdoor Channel. Since nobody in my family really had a passion for hunting as I did, I had to do a lot of waiting before I got to my first hunt in 2012. My dad and I got our hunting licenses. Later that December, we went on our pheasant hunt. It was fun, but I really wanted to go for deer. The following September, my dad and I got our first bows. This is all 100% true. I like how he has to state that. On November 13th of 2013, my dad went into the woods for the first time with his bow. He climbed in the tree with a summit climber. He was wearing jeans, a long-sleeve black shirt, an orange thick vest, not meant for hunting, certainly not deer. I sat in a ground blind 30 yards away. We got out late, around sundown. We spooked 7 deer out in the field on the way in. As the sun went down, I see my dad draw back. He shot, and catching up, and I heard the arrow smack something. My dad spined his first doe, a big one too. From that moment forward, I was hooked. I continued the story. The next season, my dad gave me his old bow, and he upgraded. On 11/14 of 2014, exactly 1 year and 1 day after my dad shot his first deer, I killed my first deer with the very same bow. It's a pretty interesting story. I'm happy that I was able to get me and my dad into hunting way of life. Now I have multiple animals taken with the bow, and I'm still trying to get him a buck.
That is bad.
That is awesome.
That is an awesome story.
So this kid went from playing video games, killing shit, and applied it to the field.
That's how he got into it, was playing video games.
Isn't that awesome?
That's just the coolest story ever.
Yeah.
2018.
There were so many stories of guys whose, older family got them into hunting at a young age. But this kid on his own played a video game, learned about hunting, kind of like D-Rock did, like all self-taught, and then convinced his dad to get into it. I'm floored. I think it's the greatest story in the world. And the kid's
awesome.
loving hunting.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and so he now goes to college in Florida. And he was able this year, I follow him on Instagram and stuff, and he was able to go to Texas with a buddy that he met. It was his roommate, and he chased a big 9-pointer in Texas. He was not able to get it, but his roommate ended up shooting a big 10-pointer. But pretty cool. I mean, that he's that hardcore into it.
Yeah, very cool story.
It's just, and from something so little.
Yeah, congratulations, Jason. That's pretty badass.
Wicked cool.
Yeah. Thanks, Caddy Cowboy.
Yeah, you can't thank Caddy Cowboy enough for that.
No, it was well worth it just being able to sit around with you guys and just like the story floored all of us. It was a long conversation around it before we made the decision, but easy choice, and we'll send it out shortly, guys. Thanks for calling.
Hey,
cool.
awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it.
Hey, Matt.
Yo.
Stay stepping.
Stay slaying.
So we're back to the show, and we got our boy Eric Clark from Where2Hunt podcast and the Where2Hunt app. How you doing, E? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty fucking great, guys. I'm pretty happy to be here.
That's cool, man. We were pumped for this episode, man. Shabby.
Any place where I can let the F-bombs fly.
Let them fly. Let them fly.
I feel right at home.
Yeah. I see you came out of the closet already, Eric. No pun intended.
Yeah.
So
there is no closet.
no filter here. So just kick back, be yourself, and this is the place to chill. So
Rock on, guys.
Cool. Thank you for being on the show first and foremost.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you for having us on your show as well.
Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I think I've had all three of you guys on at different points.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
So thanks for returning the favor.
Yeah, it's all brotherhood. We try to take care of each other. One hand washes the other, and definitely, I mean, most of all, it's good conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Especially coming from two different parts of the world.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are in Connecticut. It's late your time. I'm still early over here.
8 o'clock.
My bedtime is whenever it's time to get into the woods.
Yeah.
I do that sometimes.
So Eric, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? Like, who's Eric Clark? What does he do? And what's your focus?
Yeah, man, I wonder, I've been asked this a couple times, and each time I try to think, like, well, how far back should I really go? Where does it even matter? And
it does matter. When did you start?
Sure, so, I don't know where to start. I'm an interesting character, man, so this has not been said publicly on any of my shows yet, so I'll just kick it off this way so I can be right at home, right?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a time in my life when I was a kid that I grew up homeless for a couple of years, actually. Not my fault, right? It's the doing of my parent, and that's weird that I'm starting back here, right? I've never done this before.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, no, this is hardcore.
I like it.
This is what we're all about, man.
I'm doing it because it paints a bigger picture of kind of where I'm at and how I got there, and off of that foundation, there's nothing anybody can tell me that is going to be worse than that period of time in my life ever. So I don't give a shit what anyone thinks about anything that I'm doing in my life at all. Because fuck it, right? I'll do my own thing. And so that being said, I've done my own thing. I used to work for a marketing firm and cut my teeth being a 100% commission salesperson. Did pretty good doing that stuff. It was a lot of fun, whatever. But being in the digital marketing realm, I started to really have a love for helping small businesses and seeing how business work and love all that shit. And then I started to really love all of the graphic designs that we would create. And just being around these business people and all of these creatives, I couldn't help myself but coming up with my own idea. Right? We all want to solve problems, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
And so
We try.
Yeah, I get it.
I always say I'm the world's okayest whitetail hunter because I don't have any big trophies.
I like
or
that.
Any bucks, dude. I just love being out there more than anything. And one of these days that stuff will happen, but that's not my reason for being out there. So, I got really annoyed spending all this time scouting public property and getting out there and having a dude shine his red flashlight at me or whistle or whatever, vice versa. And so I decided to do something about it because I never want to be a guy that just has an idea and doesn't do anything about it. So that's kind of where I started. I'm talking about the app more than myself here. Making some big jumps here, making some big leaps.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
But that makes you. That having the app makes you. That's who you are.
Yeah, man. Not just that. Yeah. That's a really hardcore way to start off the episode, man, and just getting to know the nitty-gritty of Eric Clark. And then transitioning, let's go to that.
So, basically what I'm trying to say is, dude, you can do anything. There's nothing stopping anybody from doing what the fuck you want to do. Whatever you want to do, just figure it out and make it happen. There's zero excuses for anything. So that's kind of where I pull from. And the app was this idea that I had that there's just got to be a fucking better way. There's got to be a better way to deal with this shit. And we're living in a modern era with modern times. Everyone has a phone with them. Now, I started this app back in 2000, and the idea was 2012, 13. By the time it got off the ground, it didn't launch until 2014. So, it was cooking for a little while or baking in the oven. And then I eventually, the first time I got it quoted, I didn't know what to do. I just had an idea. So I was like, well, I guess I'll see if someone can help me build this. And so I reached out to some companies that at the time, there were only a few that did app development in the States. And so I went to the big dogs, and where I perceived it was Silicon Valley in California. And they're like, yeah, $100,000, $50,000. I'm like, whoa. So maybe I'm not going to do this idea.
Right.
Okay, well, maybe this is why people have ideas and they don't do them, right?
Yeah.
But then I said, fuck that. I'm going to figure this out. So then I kept asking and asking. I found a guy in a company in Chicago that was going to do for $10,000. And that would have been all the money I had at the time. And I was a full-time student, working full-time, just breaking my freaking back and busting my brain. And I'm like, what am I fucking doing with this stuff, It's some silly idea. Am I really going to blow my savings on this freaking thing right now? So then I was talking to a buddy, and he's like, dude, you ever heard of Upwork? I'm like, I don't know what that is. Well, actually, it was Elance at the time. It's Upwork now. So you put, your I created a proposal, a bid, an RFP out to this site, and I got 40 responses from companies around the world.
Wow.
What
to
is
build my app?
All just looking to invest?
To build it. I was looking for developers. I was looking for people that could do code.
Can you touch on what Upwork is real quick?
Yeah, it's like a digital. It's a community of. I'm not going to do any justice. It's a community of developers and creatives and whatever it is you want done.
Okay.
Where you can put your shit out there, and then people sign an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, and they can bid on your whatever it is you want.
Very cool.
Maybe you want a website. Maybe you want a logo. Maybe you want someone to write your freaking essay for you in college. I never did that. I don't know what you're talking about, but.
Yeah.
So I put my idea for my app out there, and I got 40 responses, and I went through all of them, and I found one that made the most sense for me as far as what I could afford and who I thought was going to do a good job and deliver a good product. And so I did a version 1. So the first version of the Where2Hunt app was a static check-in. So you'd literally get to your tree stand or whatever, and you'd open up the Where2Hunt app, and you'd click check in, and it would, boom, and publish your little dot out to this map that everyone else could see. And that was it. It was pretty rudimentary, called an MVP, a minimum viable product. And, in 2016, I revved it. I made another version, which is a current version that, everyone can go download today, where it's actually using technology very similar, if not the same, as Uber, where it's live tracking. So if you ever hailed an Uber or a Lyft, you can see the car kind of coming to you or whatever.
Yep. Real
time. The app that I have works the same way, except instead of a car, it's another hunter walking through the woods. So it just moves a lot slower because a car going at 50 some miles per hour, you can actually see some movement. You got to zoom in pretty close to see someone moving through the woods, but it works.
Unless you're a Force Ninja.
No, that is just a brilliant idea, Eric, and it's awesome, man. That is wonderful.
It's so it only, correct me if I'm wrong. So it only notifies a person when they come within distance, or is it always constantly showing a location of everybody that's on there?
Constantly showing the location of everyone that's on there, up to 100 miles away for the free users. So if you go download it for free, you can start using it right away. You don't have to enter. You don't got to enter in any bull crap. You don't have to enter in your Gmail or your Facebook. You don't have to do anything. You can open it and start using it hassle free. But if you do it that way for free, you can. First of all, you're broadcasting your spot to anybody else that's on it for free, and then they're able to see where you're at for free. And it's real-time movement, so there's no alerting. There used to be in the first version, the coding got really freaking janky to try to do with the real-time stuff, but it used to work where if someone else came, you would set the parameters, like, I want to be notified if someone comes within a mile of me. It would vibrate and say, there's a new hunter in your area, refresh your map, and boom, there you'd see it. So the way it works now, you just see everything real-time all the time.
Okay.
Now, Eric, I got a question for you. Now, out your way, you're talking miles. Here on the East Coast, we're hunting smaller state lands, public lands, where we're talking in yards. Where you may have someone 100 yards away from you, or like D-Rock opening day this year, he had a guy set up 50 yards away from him. Is there a way you can shut your location off on that app as well, so it's not showing these other hunters on these small pieces where you may be sitting on that one good piece no one's finding?
Yeah, so you can go. So at that point, there's likely no use for it, right, at all.
Right.
If that's the case, then that's fine. There's plenty of guys. So I got like a really visceral response. People either love it or they fucking hate it because they're like, "Why the hell would I show someone where I'm hunting?" Like, and it's a really hard concept to grasp.
It's a good question, though.
It's a great question. No shit. Like, okay, well then don't use it. And that's a pretty, I have a visceral response too because it isn't for everybody. But here's the thing, like if there's one user on the app, it's rendered useless. It doesn't have any impact at all. And if there's two people, well, boom, now we got something.
Right.
And now that keeps multiplying. And we're up to, several thousand downloads, several dozen downloads actually of users across the country. And so this network effect starts to multiply. So the idea there is that for the guy that doesn't have all this time to scout throughout the year, and you get to a property and you pull up and you see all these trucks or cars or whatever in the parking lot or on the road, you have no idea where these other guys are, especially if it's bow hunting season, everyone's in camouflage. So you're going to do all this fucking work, get into the spot, and you might be 50 yards from someone. Wouldn't it be great to just know? So
yep.
I think what you're getting at is there is a private group feature. So if you still want to use it with your own hunting party and not have the rest of the world see where you guys are at, you can do it that way. And that's what the pro version is. So I should have called it incognito mode, but I didn't.
So that's a big touch on that group party, though. That's worth paying the couple dollars that your app charges for, just your group party. Because not even with bow hunting alone, turkey hunting is a big thing too. You pull up,
dude, turkey, elk, it doesn't matter what you're hunting. Yeah. It's just a matter of having some idea of proximity to you and other unknown hunters. If there's a dot and you don't know that person, holy shit, there's another hunter nearby.
Right.
You might think twice about blasting off around in that direction, or you're certainly not going to go up to them and be like, "Hey, dude, found you on this app. What's up?" That's not going to happen. You're going to stay the fuck away.
Right. I like that fact that you can, when you pull into the parking lot and you see somebody and you're able to see if there's anybody else out there if they have that app.
Right. Is it worth
a huge thing?
Is it worth hiking a mile to the spot that you want to go when there's another guy right where where you thought you were going?
Absolutely, and that happened to me last year or this season. Like, I took a canoe up the river. We got to the spot where I thought I needed to beach the freaking canoe based on the land boundaries, all the shit, my buddy. And sure as shit, dude, there's already a canoe there. I'm like, you gotta be fist fucking me, man. Like, there's a fucking canoe here. Like, I thought I was doing some ninja shit. And nope. You know, and I'm like, well, now I don't want to go in and ruin their hunt. That's the last thing I want to do. Not to mention, like, I want to have some success too. And so I had to go in there blind, knowing that there's at least one or two other dudes in this area. I found fucking both of them. One of them was sleeping. One of them shot a doe right as I was walking through the woods.
Wow.
Like, that could have. I could have ruined his hunt. He could have ruined mine. I could have been. I don't know.
Maimed.
Dude, bro, like, I heard the release of the arrow and the thwack of the doe, and she ran right at me. I'm like, what the fuck did I just witness? Man, that was some crazy shit.
That is.
And then
crazy.
the first dude that was sleeping woke up and came over. I'm like, I think your buddy just shot a deer. She went that way.
That's funny. And
Like,
they had
I would have known, man. I would have been like, all right, I'll just stay the hell away.
Yeah, but some people look at it differently, like you're saying. They don't want anybody to know where they are. And it's like, but it's a good thing. It's a positive thing, especially on big land like out in the West. You know, that's...
And
no one knows. So there's a couple things. Like, there's no validity to if I see a dot on the map, I don't know that you're in a good spot. Like, what do I know? You know, like, until I have boots on the ground, I have no idea that you could be some schmuck just sitting in, like, some... There's no reason for me to believe that because there's a hunter there that's the spot that I ought to go to.
Exactly.
It's a spot that I ought to stay away from. Not to mention it's public land. It ain't your freaking land.
Right.
Right.
Like,
Hey,
get
Eric,
over it.
I had a question about your app, actually. Is it okay to talk about your main goal on what you're trying to focus on and what the app kind of surrounds on? Can I elaborate a little bit?
Yeah, man, go ahead.
Well, it seems like it would be ideal for outfitters, especially outfitters, right? Can we touch on that or no?
A little bit. So I spent some time talking to a bunch of outfitters, actually, and I got some weird responses. Like, I don't know what the deal was. I got some really weird responses at a trade show, actually Deer Fest here in Wisconsin. I had asked, you know, like, not outfitters. I guess I asked, like, the hell they called them? The fence hunts, those kind of people.
Yeah.
High fence hunters.
High fence hunters.
I'm not a big believer in that. Teach his own. I won't do it. I believe in fair chase. I'm not going to go pay money to go kill something that sits over a block of salt, but some people might. So if that's what you're into, whatever. Not here to judge. I'm just here to call you, you know, a little bitch or whatever. But like,
but somebody like that would work out well because then you know where everybody is when
it's a safety feature.
Yeah, or if not even that, but like say that we went on a hunt somewhere with some type of outfitter and all of us are there, then we all know where we are on that property. And
it was great because on public property where I hunt, we go with like 6 to 8 dudes depending on who can make it, and you know, I can always know literally exactly where each specific person is. Not even a guess in the private group feature. Then there's naming conventions, so now I can see who is who, and I can be like, dude, Mike, there's a deer coming your way, right? There's a buck or there's a doe, or like, hey, Kurt, there's, you know, three does heading your direction, and I know it's him, and I know they're going his direction. So I have all this awareness, and like, new hunters get lost. They don't end up in the right spot, or like, the old experienced guys, like, they get bumped because someone else was in their spot already, and you know, so then people start moving around, and suddenly I'm like, okay, I now know where everyone ended up, and I'm like, how the fuck did you guys get over there, right? And I'm starting to like get a bigger picture of understanding what's going on. When I hear a gunshot, I know who it was.
Right, exactly.
That's cool.
Or if something is to happen that, you know, like us, we use a lot of climbers and stuff. If the bottom falls out of your climber, you know exactly. I mean, that thing pinpoints you to like where I am in my house.
Exactly.
I can only
It's
imagine
actually-
the tree.
It's
scary,
close.
man.
It can get a little bit wonky, but you know, I've had that concern. I make fun of my dad on every show unless he's noted it now that he's paid attention. He's pretty clumsy, so am I. But back in the day, like, we would have walkie-talkies, and we'd get up into our respective stands, and we'd be good to go. And then I'd be like, you know, on the walk, hey, I'm in the stand, you know, over, whatever. Yeah, me too. I'm good to go. Good luck. And that was it. And then we didn't communicate until I'm like, I'm freaking hungry. You want to get down?
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty cool. Actually, since we're on the subject, what is your favorite harvesting tool of choice?
Bow, dude, bow, for sure.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I love shooting my 30-06 and sniping something, but I had my first bow kill last season, and there was nothing else like it in the world, man.
That's
awesome. That was a rush. It was incredible.
Congratulations,
awesome.
man. That is really
It
cool.
took me a number of years to freaking finally pull it off after missed shots and shit, but it was great.
it's tough enough hunting in Wisconsin on public land. Never mind with a bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
explain
it's super rewarding.
explain some of the areas. I know obviously like I listen to your podcast and stuff, and I kind of understand like the areas that you're hunting. But like, what kind of areas do you hunt out in Wisconsin?
So there's a lot of farmland and like crops and things like that go on for the, as far as the eye can see in the western part of our state. But where I'm at in southeastern Wisconsin, it's very thick woods. Like you're not taking a shot with a rifle with a scope that can shoot 500 yards. You're not going to shoot more than 100 yards max.
It's heavy timber, right?
Yeah, heavy timber. You start getting west, it gets really bluffy, and there's a lot of like what we would call hill country kind of stuff. Certainly not mountainous like where you guys are at, but there's marshes and shit like that. I mean, I don't know. I have an affinity for hunting like pines. I don't know why. I just think pines are peaceful. I'm like, I don't even know if there's any deer over here. I just think it's cool, so I'm gonna stay here.
Plus, you get them chocolate horns.
Success.
The chocolate horns come out of the pines.
I love the smell, dude. I love the wind blowing through the freaking needles. I love the soft ground. Like, there's something about it, man. I just love it.
That's crazy. And duck hunting is crazy out in Wisconsin.
Yeah,
are you a duck hunter or no?
I went for the first time last year at the guide. I do logo design on the side, and I had a guide I did a logo for, Mud Duck Guide Service. And so he's like, dude, you can come whenever. You get a freebie. I'm like, all right, sweet. So he took me, and we didn't shoot a damn thing. The ducks all cleared out the day before. That was it. I was like, what? So they're just gone now?
Wow.
That was it. They were gone.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
all right. So we sat in waiters in this freaking marsh all damn day, smoking cigars and eating venison jerky. That was it.
Just cigars?
Just cigars?
They didn't care. They're like, whatever. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah, that's funny. We have a really good buddy of ours that me and Ryan hunt with. He's from Wisconsin, so it's kind of funny when he moved out here, and then he's showing us all the deer, and he's like, I don't really even care about deer hunting. I'm only a duck hunter, but the guys back home, they're die hard whitetail hunters. Yeah,
that's what I am, man. By and large, like I don't turkey hunt. I don't do any. I fish. Like I get really into ice fishing and shit, but I think about whitetail all the time. I drive my wife crazy.
I can only imagine.
Anytime I gotta tell her something, she's like, "Is it about a deer?" Yeah. Like, what else I talk about?
It's funny you made the reference on your show there, the last episode there, about whitetail hunting compared to waiting to get married. I was like, how'd that go?
I told it to her. It didn't go over well. It was like a lead balloon, but I thought it was good. I was like, I mean, I don't know. Like, that's a good comparison.
It is.
But it's like that all the time for whitetail hunters. It ain't just one event. It's one event every fucking year.
Wow. You made it to the next segment of the Ninja Tip of the Day. Since we're talking all this whitetail hunting and the passion for it, we definitely want you and your perspective from the OK deer hunter. What's your ninja tip of the day, man?
I thought about this for a while, and then one of the tips was like, do you know that if you put a cup of water in with your pizza in the microwave, the crust doesn't get soggy?
Right.
We'll take it, man. I love that.
That's a good ninja tip.
No, but this is a tip this isn't even a tip that he ever told me about with my dad. Quite literally, we'd be up north in the Nicolet National Forest in Wisconsin, which is it's like 300,000 plus acres, or maybe 600,000. I'm weird with multiples of 3, but it's one or the other. Fuck ton of land, and we'd be out scouting for deer, hunting for deer, and it'd always be, well, let's just go over that next ridge. He said that like 15 effing times, man. Like, at some point, you gotta stop going over the next ridge. Like, I don't know where we are. We've been hiking for fucking 10 miles.
Yeah.
And so, you never know what's over that next ridge, man. You just gotta keep going.
Awesome.
That's a really good tip.
Yep.
Really good tip.
Find the
Keep
deer.
on going.
Yep.
Keep on keeping on.
Stay stepping, so to speak. But
That's a great tip, though.
It is because you just the unknown.
You never know
Just
what's
to
over
have
that
the
next
unknown.
ridge. You never know.
Yeah, and
It's like the last cast syndrome, like with fishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
casting.
One more cast.
Same
One more
thing.
cast. Yeah.
Yep, just one
But
more.
but it's so true. Like when we're learning these new properties and stuff, like that's a huge thing for us this year is learning new properties and something like that. Just stay stepping.
Yeah.
Just go over that next ridge.
Boots on the ground,
something's
yeah.
there.
Find it, yeah.
That's what that sign could be. That could be their run. So like, That's a great ninja tip. Really, truly, honestly is.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. That was a good one. We're definitely going to hold on to that one for sure.
Rock on. It's an easy one to remember and stick with you. It's one where you're out there and you're like, all right, I'll do one more inch.
What's over there?
It's like addicting, you know?
If anything, it benefits your health, so why the hell not, you know? And then,
Yeah, or
and then
you'll
you
have a
get to learn.
heart attack, I don't know.
Exactly. So, when did you actually start podcasting? When did you start doing that venture?
I think I did that in 2013. So I'll back up. So 2013 for Where2Hunt, but a really, really close friend of mine, he was the only other hunter at this marketing agency that I worked at. So him and I started bonding over that, of course, right? That's what happens with deer hunters.
Yep.
And he's on the nerdier side. It's cool that I call him that. He's cool with it. He was a programmer back then. He's a programmer now. So he does some nerdy shit. And him and I were drunk as shit at a camping thing that we did every year. And we decided to start a podcast. I didn't even know what a podcast was. I had zero idea. I'd get in his car. I'm like, what the fuck are you listening to? What station is this? He's like, station, this is a podcast. I'm like, well, what is that? What does that mean?
Yeah, what the hell's a podcast?
What are you talking about? Like, you know, he was always so advanced in this technology. And he's like, it's just an internet radio show. I'm like, so it's a radio show on the internet? Like, what? So what? Like, what? And he kept going on and on. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't get it. But he's like, well, I always wanted to do one. Would you want to do one? I'm like, I don't care. Like, what do you mean? What do I have to do? He's like, well, we just got to get some microphones and we can record. So what do you want to record about? I'm like, well, I do a lot of stuff outside and you're a nerd. So, like, let's see. So we called it the Wildernet podcast. So Wilder being outside, net being the nerdy shit. We came up with that, wasted as hell one night camping. And then that following week, I plugged my earbuds into my iPhone and he had some fancy Mac stuff. And that was our first ever episode, how we recorded it. And I think we got like 40 or 50 episodes of Wilderness. We haven't done it in a long time. But once I started doing that, I realized, well, maybe I should do this for my Facebook page for the Where2Hunt thing that I'm doing. And so the podcast came first. And then the app kind of was in the midst of all of that. So
when the wheels got turning, so to speak.
Yeah, yep.
Shit. So it must be
awesome.
It must be a Clark thing, huh, Eric?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. My first guest was Jared Scheffler of Whitetail Adrenaline. I was super nervous.
Right. Yeah,
like
I agree.
My voice cracked in the beginning. Like, I was like, this is Jared Scheffler. This is a podcast. And there's, to this day, I still, I wasn't sure if I should say, so in the Where2Hunt podcast, I say the podcast that connects public land hunting enthusiasts. I say it every episode.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't sure. I had Shane over. I'm like, he's helped me with some stuff. I'm like, now, should I say the or the? He's like, oh, I don't know. So we're like debating this for 30 fucking minutes.
Is the one. The is the one.
Yeah. So then I was like, I got so tripped up in doing it. So I went to finally record my pilot episode, the intro, and I was like, welcome to the fuck. That was it. My brain stopped. So then he's like, welcome to the fuck. So like, to this day,
That's cool.
I still always sing like, welcome to the fuck. This is the podcast.
You know what? And we could relate there. You know, in the essence of when you first start out. You know, it's like we had to go through all the emotions, the heartache, the celebrations. It's like a roller coaster, but it's nice when you finally plateau on the top of the roller coaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you get into a good cadence, rhythm, you got your shit down. But, dude, it never stops because then you upgrade something or you try something new or what. Dude, there's...
Amen,
and you got to
brother.
go through it all again. But you just know that you can keep, like I say, keep stepping and you'll get through it.
Heck yeah.
It was so nice in the beginning. We just drank a shit ton of Shabin, got wicked wasted, and then it just kind of like went along. You know, that's how we got through the first emotion by drinking a case of Shabin.
Yeah.
Then we said,
Dude,
we
great.
should probably take it a little more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drunkest episode I ever had was with the Deer Hunter podcast, Kevin Distison.
Oh, that's
I drank
fun.
a half a
call him
bottle
up.
of scotch and I just honestly didn't even realize I did it, and I was trashed.
The
he was
recent?
too.
The recent one, or?
Well, we had to redo it because I think we were both too hammered. He's like, dude, I listened to it, man. It's not good.
Oh, yeah, back
So
in the
he's like,
day.
we're gonna have to
Back in
redo
the
it.
day.
I'm like, shit.
Yeah. It
We've
happens,
been
though.
there.
We've had one of those. I think all of us have been too fucked up on one podcast or another. and we've all known it, but on some of them you can't notice, and
Unless
then some
you know
of
the
them
person.
we've had to fucking re-record because we drank too much.
It's just deer camp. We're just having a good time bullshit. You know,
Right.
it's giving
It's
out some
fun.
knowledge. It's fun. Having a good
that's
time.
Yeah, I'm just missing some Shabine over here. I thought it was wait. So it's Shabine,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shabine.
Shabine.
dude. I told my wife about this before I knew that's what it was when I saw on your Instagram post. I was like, dude, every time they crack a beer, they go Shabine.
Do you need us to do that for you right now?
Yeah. Ryan just wants to drink another beer.
Yeah. I haven't finished this one, but I will.
We'll definitely get some out to you, E.
Absolutely.
That's for sure, man. Hey, well, we're,
I don't have any of that, but I got some of this.
you know what? There's nothing
Wait.
wrong with that. That's
Wait.
actually what we end up drinking when we need a break from Shabine. That's our water right
Yeah,
Yeah, no doubt.
The Bush latte.
you're drinking Bush right now.
there. Yeah.
That-
He's
that's-
So I just cracked open.
That's what's up. That's my
Bush.
beer of choice. My beer of choice is Bush Light.
I do like it.
Shabine,
Love it.
Ryan the porn star didn't mean to say that. He's a little too drunk because he drank too much. He's on the bush. He didn't mean it. I
You
swear
guys
he
gotta
didn't
get
mean it.
you guys gotta get a bourbon company to sponsor you too. Be like,
Oh, no. If you want to see our episodes really go to hell, yeah, I agree. But I don't know how hot an idea that'd be.
That's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah, we did the Elijah Craig for a while, but then we knew where that got us.
Sometimes you need to switch up your friends, so to speak.
Yeah.
Hey, E, now that we're on the subject and everything, again, thank you for coming out. Before we get too sidetracked, where can they find you, the listeners?
yeah. So, look, you can find me all over the place, but if you just go to Where2Hunt.app.com, you can put a number 2 in there. You can put the word 2 TO. It'll take you where you need to be, and you can get to Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and the podcast, and you can go to the Google Play Store, the the Apple iOS Play, whatever the fuck it's called, App Store. You can go there to download the app, try it out, see what you think. I recommend trying it with a buddy. If you do it by yourself and there's no one else on there, it's going to seem like, well, what is this? Now my dot's out there, and what does this mean? But if you try with a buddy, you call him, you're like, hey, dude, download this app. I want to see if this shit works. And then suddenly that's when the magic happens. You're like,
Right.
dude, we can use this in the woods.
Either that or it'll go vice versa. Be like, yo, you said you were in the woods. You're at McDonald's right now.
I did it with I had it on with my wife the other day. She's like, where are you? I'm like, open the app. I'll just keep the screen has to be like open for the live tracking to work. Otherwise, you just, it'll just refresh itself when you open it back up and it'll look like you teleported. But my wife
you hear
wanted to
that?
know how far
That's
I was going to
the
be. Like,
trick.
open up the app and you can see exactly when I'm going to be home. And so I did this with actually the hunting beast, Jeff Genke. I was coming over to his house from a different city, and he's like, when are you going to be here? I'm like, well, open up my app, man, and you'll know exactly when I pull up. So I pulled up, and he opens the garage door that instant. I was like, what's that, dude?
That's awesome.
That's cool.
And you know what? On that note, Eric, your app it's kind of scary how exact it is, man. I was sitting at my counter the other day, and it literally pinpointed me at the center of my house, my address, everything, and I was able to zoom in so much further than Google Maps would ever bring me in. I'm like, whose vehicle is that in my driveway when this was taken? I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it's awesome though for a safety feature for just with you out with your hunting buddies. It is awesome how incredible your app is.
Yeah, there's been some fun stories about it, dude. Like, my dad got a deer last year, and meet me by the truck. Meet me, motherfucker. It's 2017. Open up my app. I'll just come find you right now. That's what we did. I had to go back to the truck and like double hike into the woods and shit. It was just like, here I am. Here you are. Let's do it. And then, I actually made it on some local radio show with some weird story about it. If you guys ever heard of Dan Small, look him up. He's like ancient, but he runs a show called Outdoor Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
I have heard it.
1970 or something, dude. It's been around since I was a kid. So he still does it, and he had me on he's got an actual, like, radio show on, like, live air, on whatever talk radio station is here in the state. And my wife went for a run one summer, and she did, like, a trail run, but she got herself lost. And this is the dumbest shit. Her phone was down, like, 2%. The sun was going down. She was terrified. I was at work. I couldn't leave. I'm like, quick, open my app.
Take a
See where you
screenshot.
are. Okay, open your compass. Go this direction. You'll hit the road. You'll be safe. And she's like, oh my God, you saved me.
You hear that, ladies? You want to keep track where your husband are, or if you don't want to get lost in the woods, tune in to Where to Hunt, and get that Where to Hunt app.
Well, I want to pick something out of that, Eric. Did you say your wife carries a compass?
Well, it was the one on her phone.
Oh, okay, but still,
okay.
compass.
She's not. Don't let her get a big head. She's not that cool.
Hey, Eric, actually, one thing I wanted to touch on is the live listener call-in you've been doing on your show. That's pretty badass. I really like that. Yeah, I really like that idea, and the main reason being, it kind of brings the old school radio show feel into something so badass like a hunting talk show, a hunting radio show. So can you elaborate a little bit on that? Like, what gave you the idea of that, actually?
Well, so it's not the only. I'm not the first one to do it. There's bigger organizations that do it on a larger scale. That for example, so like I follow Dave Ramsey. He's like a financial guy, and I try to follow his. I read a couple of his books. Blah blah blah. But he's got 12 million listeners across the country, right? So he's got a real radio show.
Wow.
And he goes live on Facebook. And he takes these calls. That's how the show is. The show is he takes calls. That's what it is. He gives financial advice to people that call him. It's awesome. And, because he's really blunt. And it's like he'll tell people, like, oh, you ate a bowl of stupid for breakfast, didn't you?
He smokes a blunt, you said?
Right, yes.
Smokes a blunt for breakfast.
Rogan,
Oh, okay.
So, like, he's on Facebook Live, and then a call will come through, and you can hear it as you're watching. I'm like, this is freaking cool. So it's the real radio show, but I'm watching it real time. I'm like, well, if he can do it, granted, he's got buku bucks and a team of people that are doing the stuff, but, like, that means it's possible. That was my takeaway.
Cool.
And so I see these other guys doing shows like the Hunting Public does this, where they'll field questions from live audience. They'll record live, but then they'll just, like, answer people's questions in the comment section.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, that's cool, but how can I take that to another level, right? Like, how can I do what that other guy's doing? Because it's really fun to watch that stuff, but then you're just commenting. And how cool it would be if you could just, well, fuck it, I want to call and I want to talk about this with these guys because they're talking about something I like. I want to ask a question. I want to do whatever. I want to, like, really engage with the people that listen to my show rather than just, I read your comment, and this is what you had to say, which is fine, but... Again, taking it on that level. That's kind of where it came from. And I thought, I looked around and I didn't see anybody else doing it that way. And I've had a lot of people come out of the woodwork, ask me how I'm doing it. I'm happy to help and share, but, like, just so long as you ring my bell first and say, hey, I got this idea from Where to Hunt.
Yeah, ring
Absolutely.
my bell. Oh, man, that's cool, though. And you know what? Where you grasped my interest on that, obviously, the man, Kurt Geyer, was on your show. And it was pretty cool how you had his live feed. So this way, it seemed like we were all in the same room, so to speak. Yeah,
it creates a good environment. Like, there's a little bit of a lag, and I'm not sure how to address that yet, but, figure it out. But it's a cool fucking thing, man. I really like doing that. You, I think, were one of the first callers of that episode, D-Rock.
Yeah, I couldn't resist, man. Couldn't resist.
He's like, is this D-Rock?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit, he knows this guy. This can't be good.
You were probably like, fuck. Someone from the East Coast.
I loved it.
Yeah, it's cool. I just needed to support the bow hunting feel on the episode because it was talking about gun season. I'm like, all right, I'm calling in, motherfucker.
Those last warriors out there with the Orange Army.
Right,
That's us,
right.
yeah.
I think it was cool that you did, like, the whole, like, opening day, like, who's getting out, what are you seeing, what are you doing, so on and so forth. I thought it was kind of cool that you did that. And being able to call in, like, I was able to call in and talk to you too. And it's just so cool to be part of it. And then you're part of it, you're watching it, and then an hour later it's broadcasted on iTunes and I can listen to it again. And it's like, it's all there. So it's like,
yeah, you'd be like, how dumb did I sound when I called in? Check that out.
Exactly.
Is this what I sound like?
It's so cool. It's just a cool thing that these people can call in. We got to get more East Coast guys to call in to you during your regular podcast and talk.
Yeah, I'm doing it tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
That's when it is.
We're listing our house for sale, and we got someone come look at it at 5:30 p.m. So hopefully they're the hell out of here so I can get my gear tested. I have Sam Ubel with Chase Nation is going to co-host it with me this time around, so we're going to take some questions from people.
He's a really cool dude, man. You're actually you met him before?
Yeah, he's been at my bar here. He doesn't live too far from me, so I'm not sure if he's coming here with me or if he's going to do it remote. But I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him about that yet.
It's nice picking his brain. Actually, he's a really good dude, really down to earth, and he's all over too. Well respected.
Yeah, dude, we all kind of got similar. We're young dudes, young bucks, making it happen.
Yeah. Plainly put, I might be a 10-pointer next year though.
Oh,
I've been eating that extra mineral feed. That's why.
You've been eating that. That was at the antler fucking protein.
Yeah. Just soaking everything in, trying to grow my antlers. You know what I mean?
D-Rock's maturing over here.
No more button buck. But that brings me to now that we've all been on your show and you're on our show. Why East Coast Bowhunting Podcast? What gave you the be like, all right, fuck it kind of feel when you heard East Coast Bowhunting Podcast?
Did you ask why I like it?
Yeah. Why us?
That's why I like it. That's
what brings you to
about
us?
It. Dude, I like the... I mean, I think you said it on one of your shows. Like, this is a raw fucking show, and dude, I love your guys' energy. Like, you guys are fucking making shit happen. You're pretty young with it, but you wouldn't know that. Like, I would have thought you guys have been around for a couple of years by now, based on how you're putting shit out there.
Appreciate that,
and the unfiltered approach that you guys take, it's like aligned with who you are, and at that rate, like, dude, I've compared my marriage to that. So, okay. Follow me for a minute, okay?
Yeah.
It's going to take a second. This is how I operate. It takes me a minute to unpack stuff, but I want to explain this correctly.
Mrs. Clark, turn it down, please.
Yeah. So when I learned how to shoot a rifle, I was in the military for a little bit. I learned how to shoot a rifle the proper way. I never shot one before that. And they teach you in such a way. You spend fucking a whole month just learning how to shoot a fucking gun, right?
Thank you for your service, by the way.
3 months.
Thank you very much.
Dude,
Thank you.
17 years old, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. If I'd have known better, I probably would have done it. Just saying. But that being said, when you go to shoot this fucking rifle, you have to be, so you take a deep breath, you inhale, exhale. It's at the bottom of that exhale when you're at your perfect resting point, and you squeeze that trigger, and boom. And then that's when you can create consistency, so nothing is forced. Not one thing. If you try to force that gun at that target, you're never going to recreate that same shot ever again. You could fucking put one bullet hole through the next, through the next, through the next when you learn how to shoot a rifle the right way. So nothing's forced, it's all natural. Now I've compared my wife's marriage to that. It's nothing forced, it's all natural, right?
Right.
It's funny. Another one, she's like, Jesus Christ, who's that fucking married? Comparing me with a gun?
Yeah.
But you guys have that with your podcast. There's nothing forced. It's all fucking natural. You guys are in like unison with your characters. You got 3 great fucking people coming together, putting out great content that's aligned with an audience. And you might have people out there that don't like the F-bombs and blah, blah, blah.
Fuck
but
'em.
too bad. Like, then go find the show that doesn't have that, because this ain't it. And if you can focus on your niche, which is what you guys are doing, that's magic. And it's fucking magic, because people love that shit.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
That's
So
awesome.
I
I
really
really
appreciate
appreciate
That's what I like
that.
about your show. It's authentic to a T. Like, there's no bullshit. There's bullshitting, because you guys bullshit, but there ain't no fucking bullshit.
It's just, we just live, breathe, and dream it. I don't think that there's not one of us in the room that is like a very good hunter. We just enjoy the fact of being out in the outdoors and hunting every day. You know what I'm saying? Like right now, the deer hunting sucks, so we do something else to hunt, but
We just love it.
Or in the
Speak
off
for
season we're
yourself.
fishing.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
I'm
I'm fucking
just-
Mexican, bro.
Dude,
What do you want?
Whitetail hunting is my crack.
I get it.
We just love it.
I need my next fix, and
I get it.
that's all I think about all day long. I wake up, I dream about it. Sometimes when I'm with being romantic with my lady, no, that's a different fantasy. Sorry, I won't go there.
But, we're talking about your antler again?
Right.
D-Rock, it's tree stand therapy, man. That's what
Yeah.
it comes down to.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like sitting in a tree. Nothing in that woods knows you're there.
Exactly.
You're doing it right. You're just out there observing nature and stuff that no one else sees.
Ryan knows what's up. Ryan knows
Absolutely.
what's
I
up.
love being out there.
I love deer hunting, but I gotta kill, man.
You
I
gotta
gotta
slay.
kill.
You gotta
I love
slay.
smashing things. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So all this positivity that we're talking about, and I mean, we got a good flow going right now. Eric, I mean, you're the man. You put up something different that not every hunting show's doing, and you have something great to offer for all of us. All this positive thinking, it brings us to our next segment. Oh, I love this part, man. Every guest we get on the show, we try to ask them, what rattles your antlers?
Dude, I thought about these questions. I thought about this one. I think, I had to really distill it down. First of all, I'm an overly positive person, so it's actually tough for me to think of this shit.
That's why I thought it'd be perfect, yeah.
And so, for me, it's... Now, some people say, like, I hate people that complain. Great, that's one step. I'm going to... One fucking layer deeper if you peel this fucking onion back is... complaining without fucking doing anything about it. Like, shut the fuck up. Either stop complaining or fucking change it. That's it. So, like, complaining without action is my biggest, like, bugaboo, man. I can't stand it. Like, I won't listen to it. I'm like, okay, well, if you're just complaining, like, you can go away from me. I don't have time for that shit. I don't have energy for it. Fuck off. Go kick rocks.
Hell yeah.
Like, deal with your situation, stop complaining, or just fucking change it, man. Ain't stuck.
Like us complaining about not shooting a lot of big deer this year.
No, yeah, you wouldn't get any fucking sympathy from me.
Fuck yeah. So that's what rattles your antlers.
That's funny.
That's actually,
perfect.
that matches anyone in life, really.
Yeah.
You know, so that's, you brought two really good aspects to the show right there, aside from all the other ones, the obvious ones. But the ninja tip of the day and the what rattles your antlers are perfect, Eric. You're fucking natural, of course, at this. You know?
Yeah, I just don't like complaining, man. I don't like it.
I totally
complain.
agree.
And if I do, I got some good self-awareness. Like, if I realize that I'm complaining, as soon as I have that moment, like, I actually wish I could just jack myself right in the jaw super fucking hard for being a bitch. Because, like, what the like, just go do something about it, you know?
Well, that's a perfect example. Just do something about it. You didn't want to deal with public hunters, so you made an app, and you fucking did it.
Yeah, you applied it. Applied to the problem. Problem solver, like you said, man. And you know what? I could relate on your upbringing. I don't have quite the similar story, but I've been through my roller coaster, definitely. And I won't get into too much detail, but it definitely gives you the appreciation for everything that you accomplished, especially the whitetail woods. And
that's just it, dude. I don't take anything for granted.
Yeah.
Zero. And any chance I get to hunt, like, what do people say? Like, well, the best... The what is that? Dude, I can't say the quote. The worst day of hunting is better than the best day at work, right? Or whatever that is.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hands
just
down.
Appreciate shit. Like, oh, it's dude, you got to go out on public property and treat it as if it were your own. Walk out in the woods. Like, that's a fucking luxury, period.
Hell yeah.
Anything after that is a bonus. There should be zero complaints.
So
Amen.
It's
Amen.
funny that you say that. So on your Instagram, there's 3 tabs at the top of your Instagram. One of them's the Where2Hunt app. The other one is the private landowner. And I think that is the greatest thing in the world. Like you put up a video and stuff of like the waterfall or whatever on your Instagram, and it just says public landowner. Yep. It's the coolest thing in the world. Like that you think of it like that. Like, you are a public landowner.
Dude, that's a gem. Like, you had to trek back to find that shit. Like, that is, you don't find that going down the hiking trail. You got to go find that spot, and you get back there, and it's pristine, dude. It's clear. There's trout in that shit. There's been trout in there. My buddy tried to spear trout in that fucking creek.
But that's life,
right? Like, but dude, I was like, this is beautiful, man. This is it. You know, it's so great. That's a privilege.
Untouched gold. Untouched gold.
That's it.
Nothing better, man. So what are you looking for goals for the remainder of the season? You going to be able to get out there again, or?
I'm done, dude. I'm done. Just give me some fucking ice. I want to go ice fishing. I'm done.
Hell yeah. That's like, good alternate.
We're trying to sell our house right now out of the blue thin air for no reason other than we saw something we like. So we're stupid. This is the worst possible time to try to sell a house. It's going on the market in 2 days. We spent the entire weekend putting shit in totes, including all my hunting gear. No. So I'm officially out of luck for the season.
It's official. It's official. You checked out.
Yeah, but that's okay. It is what it is.
But I never check out because I got that podcast that I'm doing tomorrow night. Like, I'm never done.
Hell yeah.
Even though I'm not in the woods, I'm still out there doing my thing and learning. And I've learned a lot from the podcast.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. Where can they call in for that? You want to shout out the number for tomorrow?
Yeah, I don't know it offhand.
Yeah, you know what?
Check out
It's
the
like
Instagram.
262-757-4200. I don't know if that's it.
It sounds accurate. I'm looking it up
D-Rock's
right
got
now.
it on speed dial.
Let's
Nice.
see. No.
Probably on one of the posts that I put out there recently, but I want to put you guys on speakerphone and jack up your audio quality.
We appreciate that.
It's all good. We made an adjustment. You and I talked about that. You know, and that's another thing about podcasting is you have the ups and downs, and sometimes the downs is nothing that you do, and it's just the equipment that fails sometimes.
Yeah,
And that's
you
what
just
it
got to
is.
roll with it.
Yeah, it's electronics.
Not going to
you know?
happen in this studio. We just not right
anymore.
now. Not this week, anyways. Having to go get a new computer and everything is just
You went from PC
Yeah,
to Mac.
sounds like it's working out pretty good.
Yeah, PC to
Thanks,
Mac.
man.
So it's like I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's getting used
It's
to
a
that.
better
It's such
thing.
a-
It sounds great. Hey, Eric, you were right. It's 262-757-4122.
Wow, I'm shocked. I don't know where that came from.
But you can
I
find
must
them
have
on
blacked out.
Instagram too,
Instagram,
right?
yep.
On Instagram, it's probably Instagram or Facebook, and you can get on there and watch the live podcast tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time, right?
Yeah, I do the broadcast on Facebook. I announce it on Instagram. That's it. I could probably do some stuff on YouTube, but like the YouTube doesn't have the social networking component. So like sharing on Facebook, it reaches a bunch of people.
Hell yeah. I can't wait, actually, because hopefully you get a lot of listeners calling in. Like I said, I want to see some East Coast callers tuning in and jumping on. That's why I wanted to get the number out there. This way we'll publish it tonight. Hopefully people listen to tonight. And then we'll be blowing it up on social anyways tomorrow.
Oh yeah, man, that's freaking great. I love that you guys are out there pumping my shit out there, doing the same, reciprocating where I can, and
That's what it's about.
We picked
the
some.
country because it's opening up my like I don't know what you want to call it, like it's expanding my horizons. I've been in this Wisconsin bubble for so long, and suddenly it's like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, like Kentucky, and I'm starting to talk to all these other people. I'm like, this is cool because now we're really learning.
He said Connecticut. It blipped out real
You hear
quick.
that? Yeah, he
I don't
did.
know why,
CT, Connecticut.
Hey, I
It
want
is Connecticut, right?
Yeah, yep.
I'm geographically challenged. I think my wife was born in Connecticut. She's a Navy brat, so she was all over the country.
okay.
Awesome.
Oh, where she was probably out of Groton.
I could yell for her.
No, but I bet you
Where were
that's
you
the
born?
only.
Where were you born? She says, somewhere in Connecticut.
Yeah, well, the
New
Navy
London?
base.
New London, is that a thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, New London. That's the boat that I work on in the summer is right next to the Navy base, the only Navy base in Connecticut. So
Okay.
that's how it's kind of funny. And it's 30 minutes east of us, so it's not far at all.
No, it's not far.
So that's where she was at, yeah.
That's
and
cool.
then,
That's badass.
yeah, she's been all over the East Coast, New York and Vermont, and I don't know, all over the place, Michigan.
And, well, now that we're off topic a little bit here, Eric. Now let me ask you. Now, being from Wisconsin, please tell me you're a Green Bay Packers fan.
Yep, absolutely. But
Now we're talking.
Room full of cheeseheads. I'm the only Steeler fan tonight.
Yeah, Trev and I we've been Green Bay fans our entire lives. We got the
I got
experience.
no beef with the Steelers, so you're okay.
All right,
If you're saying you're not a Vikings fan, it's okay.
Word.
A little off topic there, but we got a new head coach, or a little interim coach there, and finally
They pulled
won
out
a game.
a nice win yesterday.
That was.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We went to the New England Packers game when they played in New England and they lost.
it was a hell of an experience,
what
though.
a great game,
it was
but-
awesome.
Sometimes Wisconsin can't handle the bite of New England.
Hey, at least we didn't lose. We probably did
Yeah,
lose.
we've
the
had a
Dolphins,
weird year,
but-
man. I don't want to talk about it. We're in a Green Bay shirt right now.
My man.
right. Yo, so we touched real quick. We're gonna have a Where to Hunt podcast and East Coast Bowhunting podcast giveaway, and we're not sharing the details, but we definitely want to give something back to listeners. It's the Christmas month. We have a Christmas giveaway each week. We have a giveaway
For the month of December only.
for the month of December. So this way, I know it's getting a little out of hand. We got giveaways out.
A lot of
out the yin-yang.
giveaways.
Yeah.
So-
I don't want them thinking that we're Santa Claus.
Well, this month we are. Santa
Yeah.
Claus comes in December.
So what I'm getting at, I'm going to have Ryan the Porn Star just kind of shoot out what we have in the giveaways, and then what your thoughts on what we might touch on but not set in stone because we still got to kind of mull it over, and then we'll put it on blast.
All right, for what we got for you guys for this giveaway, we got what we call here a Sparky. It's a compact one-handed sparker. It's for lighting a fire when you're out in those woods. We also got a folding map compass. That way you're not going to lose your way. Also, a clamp light mini. What this is, it clips to the brim of your hat. It's a nice little headlamp. And last but not least here, we got a beautiful knife made by Elk Ridge. This is a really nice, high-quality knife. It's got a nice leather sheath with it. Feels great in your hand, nice and sharp. This is what's going to be included in this giveaway here.
Awesome. So we got an East Coast Where2Hunt survival
Giveaway.
kit.
Yeah. And it's
I'm
made
into
by...
Yeah, you ain't getting lost. You can track your buddies. You can snap some shit.
Start a fire.
Start a fire.
East Coast style. So what are your thoughts on how we should do this, you think?
I had some thoughts. It's kind of tricky because I don't know how to dole out credits for
Yeah,
the
just
premium
touch on
membership
it.
that I have.
Yeah.
I'm just not technical.
Right.
But I thought, if people want a screenshot or something like that of them trying out with a buddy for a qualification, is that an idea that could work?
Like a screenshot. Oh.
Shabeen.
Shabeen.
So, Eric, you're saying like a screenshot of the hunter map, the hunter locator map on your app?
Yeah, and they can zoom way out so, people don't got to get creepy about it. I don't need to know exactly your longitude, latitude, but if you do it, with you and a buddy, so it's you, the orange dot and a black dot together, or, not together, but in you can see them both on the screen.
Yeah. That sounds like a cool
Screenshot that,
idea.
and maybe that's a comment or something. I don't know how you guys do it, but that's an idea.
Yeah. Well, like I said, we'll mull it over. I just wanted to touch on your thoughts because I thought
And
it
then
was really cool.
I did create a private East Coast Bowhunter Podcast 2018 group. So if you want to upgrade to premium membership, you can join that group and you can get an idea where all your listeners are at and kind of build a brotherhood from there too.
And what's that?
Shout outs.
What's that? It's $1.99.
It's $1.99. You're
One
not
time.
gonna feel that.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
one
and
time.
if you do, I'm really sorry. Maybe I'll find a way to send you $2.
But that's
And then
that's
you can
pretty
get on
badass.
the East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast special group.
On the Where2Hunt app. That's pretty cool.
It's EBC is how I put it in there. East Coast Bowhunter. So EBC Podcast 2018. And then when you see that, so if you go into the groups and you see that, you swipe that group to the left with your thumb. It'll say edit. And then you go and find your buddies based on their username.
Yeah, ECB, right? ECB Podcast?
Yep.
Right.
You got it.
I got to
Cool.
get on that.
Awesome. Yo, Eve, real quick, what are you sipping on right now? The Bush? Nothing else? No
The
scotch
Busch
on the
Latte.
side?
I drank my coffee and now I'm on Bush.
Okay.
Bush Latte.
Okay. Lattes are cool.
East Coast, working class shout out there.
Yeah, no doubt.
They
Cool.
love
Like that.
the Bush Lattes.
Hey, E, I just, one more time before we close out, because we have so much more to talk about, but, we could do a whole other episode on that note. One more time for our listeners out there, where can they find, who are you, where can they find you, and something positive to end it.
So I'm D-Rock's brother from another mother, E-Rock, a.k.a. Eric Clark with the Where2Hunt podcast, founder of the Where2Hunt app. You can check it out at where2huntapp.com and, go from there.
Awesome.
Something positive. I got this is from, who cares who it's from? This is not my quote, but it's perpetual optimism is a force multiplier. So I love that quote.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Quote.
Definitely a good quote, for sure. Ryan, something positive.
Something positive. It's crunch time. End of the season for just about all the country here. Get out there. Spend them last few weeks, that last month, whatever you got left, spend it in the woods. Get out there. You never know what's going to happen.
Hell yeah. Trev, something positive.
Something positive is we're all going to kill one more meat deer before the season's over.
At
That's
least
what's up.
everyone on this show right now.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Hell yeah.
Well, we have the South Zone until the end of January, but our regular season ends
December 31st.
December 31st. So we only got a couple more, probably a couple more days.
Hell yeah.
Couple weeks. Couple weeks.
Hell yeah.
So D-Rock, what's positive, buddy?
What's positive right now is CT Bow Hunting. Check out the Judge Free Zone app. If you got any questions on just bow hunting in general, even hunting in general, check us out. Something positive, Northeastern Game Calls, running that Bloodline series. That's coming out soon. We'll let you know when that's in full blown aspect. It's a matter of days now, and definitely something positive is Where2Hunt app. Get tuned in. Thank you, Eric Clark, for coming on the show.
Thanks, Eric.
Thank you, Eric.
Sharing with us your experiences and chilling with your brothers at deer camp. Brother from another mother.
We're going to have to send you some Shabine, and then we got to hear about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll send you, dude. I'll send you a recording of me cracking it, saying it.
That's what you like.
Hell yeah. Show.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell yeah. So this is the East Coast Bow Hunting Podcast, and we're always in the woods. So you guys out there, stay stepping.
Stay slaying.